see if you look at the Basque instruments. What do you think? What was the role of music for them?
Again, I mean,
the way those instruments evolved. Is it more percussion based, like you said, or is it?
Well, I mean, yeah, it often played a role in like social elements as well. Like the chalapata would be played from the hills to signify that the cider had been made, and for people to come up to the hills to drink the cider. Also, like, you know, the sitsu and the drum, which are played together, you know, would have its place in like celebrations and different ceremonies and traditional ceremonies, stuff like that. So for the Basque people, I think, you know, it played a role in their sort of traditions and their rituals. And that's always, I think that's been the case for many different cultures as well. Yeah. And, you know, for us, almost like the music is like part of a ritual as well. Yeah. Like when we go to play live for people, that ritual of us being on stage and playing to people is sort of becoming a ritual of sorts to us, because we do it, you know, often in different places. So
yeah, and to communicate ideas, you know, like through, you know, you can imagine a band of musicians in whatever century you want to pick, you know, from history, and you know, they would have been sort of inspiring figures perhaps because they can work in this way to produce something that is, you know, it's not physical, it becomes born into the air and is something that people can just, you know, be absorb into themselves, you know, and be inspired by and think about the world in a different way. And that's always been kind of the role of musicians, and something that still needs to happen to this day, new ways of challenging people and making them see, you know, a different side to life.
This album, well, you went to the Basque Country. There you decided, well, we should do it again. I haven't. Well, why did you decide to do it again? What sort of conversation did you have? Did you think about doing something else, or what struck you about going back? And
it seemed like that was the right thing to do, because that's where it all started for us, and we thought, at the very least, let's go and be inspired by the place and take it from there, you know. It would only seem right to do it there, and also it's also a very inspiring place, just geographically, and being amongst nature in good weather, you know, just those things also play into it. We wanted to be in a place that was uplifting and had a positive energy to it, and there we do feel like, you know, your surroundings do influence, you know, your music and the things that you do. So that was also part of it, you know, like wanting to be in a nice location to write.
But did the songs come quickly?
Yeah, I mean, we wrote a lot of songs for this album. You know, it wasn't just the 10 that you hear. You know, there were lots of ideas around, and you know, a lot of them, you know, some of them ended up being combined into a song, because, you know, the lyrical strains and the ideas we were coming up with were similar in many respects, you know, over the song or over the period of time. And as we developed, you know, our ideas about all this stuff we've been talking about, you know, certain songs, you know, came out later on, and those featured on the album as well. So it was a you know, not a short process, but definitely a fruitful one, and we've got lots to look back on and say, well, there has been a great development over this period, not just where we left off with the last album.
Are there certain key songs for you? Songs that are more important than other songs while writing the album?
I think they're all important. I mean, they probably all mean different things to us, to each of us.
Yeah. I mean, but like Bridge of Bones is like an interesting one, because it's, you know, a different sort of style of song. Yeah. It's more of a ballad type thing, which we've not done really before, and it'll be interesting to see how people interpret that. And, you know, more sort of melodic, possibly. A lot of the songs have a bit more of a sort of song traditional structure to them, which maybe the first time was more like dance patterns and drops and things like that.
You were saying Bridge of Bones, there's some sort of wind opening the song.
Yeah.
Where was it recorded?
That was recorded in the Bahamas.
Yeah. That was on the beach.
Yeah, Graham went to the Bahamas at some point and had just on his dictaphone like a recording of some waves from there. So I mean, my dad was brought up there, so it seemed like a...
Why did you use this?
Well, the idea is that it's the lament of a man stuck out on a raft in the middle of the ocean.
The actual idea in the beginning was like, it was the guy from Xtatic Truth on the last album, you know, We Were Born to Be Alone Man, and he's still stuck out there but on the wide ocean, just like trying to make sense of being alone, continuing to be alone, and we wanted it to be sort of, you know, him thinking about his love, you know, to bring a kind of positive twist to that song, which is quite a sort of bleak and existential idea, to sort of somehow transform that across the two albums.
I mean, hopefully The Wind is like setting the scene of like someone being stuck out in the rough seas and then having that moment of clear thought as the pianos come in. It's sort of just to sort of set the scene a little bit.
Did you have second thoughts about including this song on the album? Meaning just a real song, not.
Yeah, I think we definitely were like, oh, is it us, sort of thing. But you know, we were told by our friends, and you know, we told each other like it's definitely a departure. It shows like some sort of growth in ourselves.
And yeah, we love to do like new types of track and styles of track. I hope like on the first record there were like, you know, surprises in itself, or like, oh, people were drawn to certain songs because I've never heard anything like that before, and like for us to do a song like that is quite interesting. Maybe it's fresh for us. You know, we've never done anything like that, and I hope when listeners listen to it, they're going to say, "Oh wow, I never would have imagined that they would have done a song like this." And that's quite exciting for us, like creatively, to be able to do new things. And I hope that we can continue, like with future records, to do types of songs that, you know, we've never heard. I feel pretty much the same about a lot of the songs on Cave Rave, on the second album, that they are types of songs we've never done before. And so while, you know, in certain genres of music that might be the normal thing, for us it's something completely new and different. And I hope like the listeners and the fans can appreciate that and like really enjoy it and be taken aback and say like, I never expected that.